Hello guys, welcome to Top Wisdom. Today's topic is grade 12, September 2022, economics paper 1. So we're going to be answering economics paper 1, September 2022, grade 12. So this is meant to help you prepare for examination. So as I'm saying right now, we are going to be answering. We have to work together in order to get the answers. So if you don't focus or just watch me answering the question paper, obviously you wouldn't benefit from this video. So it is best for us to answer this together. So these are the instructions. You all know. So guys, another thing is that when you are writing in September, it's very important that you read the instruction. Don't just go right away and write. I know that you have time, but you have to read the instruction first. So let's not waste any time. I'm not gonna stick that much on section A, but on section B I'm gonna make sure I stick too much so that you guys can understand, because section A is full of multi-choice and picking answers. But let's start. Question 1. Section A. Various options are provided as possible answers to the following question. Choose the answer and write only the letter A, D next to the question number 1.1 and 1.1.8 in the answer book. For example, 1.1.9 is D, which is obviously they will give you an answer book when you are writing in September. So they will give you an answer book, you will see it. National income will increase when. Here you can start by saying, here we are going to be saying it's import goods, export. It's B. Import goods and exports. Yeah, they are superior. Yeah, it's B. 1.1.2. The type of business cycle caused by changes in net investment by government and businesses is called. The type of business cycle caused by changes in net investment. This one you can find on textbook. It's very straightforward. You can find on textbook, and you have to study it on textbook. So which one is it? You can find this one on textbook, guys. You can find this one on textbook. It's very straightforward. It tells you that this one caused changes in net investment by government, which is juggler. It's the juggler, which is C. So as I've said, I won't stick that much in section A. I will just try to be faster. In the feature of the public sector failure, where government missed inflation and growth target is related to. Where government miss inflation and growth target. We can underline that one. Where government miss inflation and growth target. I think we all know this one, which is ineffectiveness. This one is A. Ineffectiveness. It's not inefficiency, it's ineffectiveness. 1.1.4. An increase in export prices shows A, which is N, in terms of trade of country. An increase in export shows. An increase in exports. Remember, the things are going out. What does it show? The things are going out. That means they are buying. The countries outside, they are buying from us. The increase in export prices. So obviously, the reason they are increasing is because many countries are buying. They are buying from us. So obviously, the prices are going to increase. I think you know the demand and supply by now. So what does that show? It shows an improvement. A measure to stimulate the supply side approach is. I think this one many of you don't know it. I definitely know that many of you don't know this. But it's the cost of doing business. It's D. A measure to stimulate the supply side approach is D. cost of doing business. Then we're going to 1.1.6, the best international practice criteria, which focuses on ensuring that the benefits of one region spill over to other industries and areas, is a best international practice. Remember, international practice criteria, which focuses on ensuring that the benefits of one regime spill over to other industries and areas, is B. Integration. 1.1.7, the category of money supply that consists of notes and coins in circulation and demand deposits of a domestic private sector at bank, is. Which one is this one? We can probably skip that one. I will watch for it later. Remember, guys, if you are not sure of the answer, it's better to skip it and answer it later. 1.1.8, a trade protocol where members countries allow for the free movement of factors of production between member countries. AN. Which one is this one? A trade protocol. A trade protocol, underline, where member countries allow for free movement, by the way, of factors of production. Free movement of factors of production between member countries is a common market. It's a common market. It's not a free trade. It's a common market. Choose a description from column B that matches the item in column A. Write only letter A to I, which is you all know how to choose here. So without wasting time, let's begin. 1.2.1, multiplier. All of us know this one. Which one is it? I'm going to give you a chance, guys. Which one is it? All of us know this one. I don't think this one will confuse a lot of you. Multiply. Many teachers stick too much on multiply. They teach you multiple times what is a multiplier. So you have to know it. What is a multiplier, guys? It is a small initial increase in spending produces a proportionately larger increase in aggregate national income. A small initial increase in spending produces, and I think when you see small initial increase, you will actually think about the multipliers. So it's 1.2.1 is actually D. 1.2.2, exogenous approach. Exogenous approach. That's how they taught me. They always say X. So what is it talking about when we talk about exogenous approach? Independent factors that influence business cycles and originate outside the economy. So that's why they always teach me that way. They say exogenous, then they underline X, because it's something that happens in the past. So it's X. They will be like X. We are no longer dependent together. You are independent. They were teaching me that way. So each and every time they talk about exogenous approach, just remember independent factors that influence business cycles. Independent. That means we are independent. Just remember the X one. I think you won't forget that one. 1.2.3, managed exchange rates. This one, managed exchange rates. It's, let me check. It's G. System which allows the value of currency to respond to the market forces with central bank interventions. 1.2.4, economic equity. Which one? This one is easy. Economic equity is actually A, redistribution of income and wealth. Economic equity is very straightforward. As long as you know the equity, what equity is, you're going to understand what is economic equity. So it's redistribution of income and wealth. So each and every time they talk about economic equity, just remember we talk about income and wealth. Embargo, skip this one. I'm not sure about it. 1.2.6, land restitution. It's land restitution is actually C, redress program due to discriminatory laws in the past. 1.2.7, which every one of us know this one, special economic zone, which we stick that much. We actually the teachers stick too much on this one too. Special economic zone. So guys, I'm gonna give you a chance to answer this one. Answer this one for me. Which one is it? Which one is it? Economic special economic zones. Which one is it? It's all about tax and what. So select which one is it. Enjoy incentives such as tax relief and support systems to promote industrial development. That's it. Enjoy incentives such as tax relief. Remember, when you talk about special economic zone, if you didn't know this one, it talks about tax relief and support system to promote industrial development. It talks about tax relief, not actually we focus on tax relief. It talks about industrial development. That's the word you need not to forget. You should not forget that word. Hey, the English is too tough now. You must not forget that word. 1.2.8 World Bank. World Bank. Is it straightforward, guys? Obviously, I think it's straightforward. An international institution established to promote economic recovery and development. So what are we left with here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So obviously that means embargo is actually H, which is the one that's left. H, an official state ban on trade with a particular country. That's it. That's 1.2.5, the one that we skipped. So here is the hardest one, which many people get it wrong. But I was a master here. I understood everything here. For me, it was something that's easy, but most of the people get it wrong. But we are not the same anyway. 1.3 is give one term for each of the following description. Write only the term next to the questions number. Yeah, guys. Let's go back here. First of all, I wanna go back here. 1.1.7, I've remembered the answer now. Just came in my mind. The category of money supply that consists of notes and coins in circulation is actually M1. It's M1. Now I remember it's M1. So let's go back. 1.3. Give one term of each of the following description. Write only the term next to the question numbers 1.3.1 to 1.3.6 in the answer book. Abbreviation and economy. An example will not be accepted. There are some people who write examples. It will not be accepted. 1.3.1 a representation of the economic, showing how the economic participants interact with one another. I think this one everybody knows it, guys. Don't tell me you can get this one wrong. If you get this one wrong, then we are in trouble. We are in trouble. Not you are in trouble. We are in trouble, because how can you get this one wrong? It's very straightforward. What is it? A representation of the economy, showing how the economic participants interact with one another. This one is straightforward, guys. Please answer it. I'll give you a chance. It's actually circular flow. Goods provided by the state. What do you think of? Provided by the state, which would be undersupplied if entirely left in the market forces. Which will be undersupplied. Think about it. It's provided by the state and it will be undersupplied. I think I've made some lessons about these ones. Undersupply if entirely left in the market force. Which one? Undersupplied. That's the most crucial word here. Undersupplied. It's merit goods. A deliberate decrease in the value of the country's currency when compared to another. A deliberate decrease in the value of country's currency. This one is not like you need to be a guy who learns economics to know it. It's something that's very straightforward. A deliberate decrease in the value of a country's currency when compared to another. What's going on when the rand decreases? What happens? Tell me what's going on. What it is devaluation. It loses its value, so it's devaluation. An increase in a country's real gross domestic product. What's that? Economic growth. labor force between the ages of 15 to 65 who are willing and able to supply labor for production of goods and services. What is this one? I think this one many of you would not uh, get it, but it's economically active population. So whenever many people are willing to work, the economic active population increases. It's economic active population. That's it. Labor force between ages of 15 and 65. Those are the people who are willing to work. Those are the people who are in the state of wanting a job. So who are willing to be able to supply labor. They are willing to be able to supply labor. They are willing to work for production of goods and services. They are willing to work. So 1.3.6, which most of you won't get it, a tract of land that forms a passage allowing access from one area to another. A tract of land. If you get this one, you actually studied, guys. You actually studied. That simply means you are on your way to success. It's corridor. You won't get this one without studying. Section B. I don't know, in section B I should choose one or should answer all of them. Choose one or should answer all of them. All of the questions here. But let me just answer all of them. It's it's economic pursuits. It's not even a challenge that much. So I'm going to answer all of them. Section B, but I'm going to be fast. Question 2, 2.1, 2.1.1. Name any two features of the fiscal policy. Just two only. It's demand based and cylindrical. That's it. That's 2.1. It's demand based. Those are the two fiscal policy, which is 2 marks, which is something that you can just flow on it. Especially when they gave you a scope. I already gave you scopes, guys. So it's something that you should know. How would the positive multiplier affect influence the economy? How will the positive multiply? We have already explained the multiplier. If you don't know what is the multiplier, you can go up and you can check the document, or I can just say you can just go back to the video where I explained the multiplier. I've already explained the multiplier. I think I've already made a video also explaining about the multiplier. So how will the positive multiplier influence the economy? How? So firms increasing production and selling more goods, it can influence the economy, because firms are going to be increasing production and selling more goods. So here we just write one statement, but there's another one. Providing income to household is going to provide influence in the economy by providing income to household, which will increase spending, because people are going to be working. So they were going to earn an income. Then in that income, obviously, as even if you are a person who's working, maybe let's say you have a job, you are working for your uncle or something, when you get the income, your earnings, you have to spend the money. You don't just keep the money and not spend it. You have to spend the money. Providing income to household, which will increase spending. It provides income, and which that will increase spending. 2.2. Study the information below and answer the questions that follow. Balance payment deficit, BA. As you can see, it's gonna appear. Which letter represents imports from above data? Which letter represents imports? Which letter represents imports from above data? Which letter represents imports from above data? It's A. A represents imports from above data. Which international institution can help countries with funds to correct fundamental deficit? If you studied, you actually know this one, but many of you wouldn't know it. It's International Monetary Fund. That's the institution that helps countries with funds to correct fundamental deficit. So don't forget it, guys. Briefly describe the term balance of payment. Guys, if you don't know this one, you actually didn't study, because it's just you just described the term. Balance payment is a systematic record of all trade and financial transactions of the country with the rest of the world. All trade, all trade and financial transactions of the country with the rest of the world. I remember when I was writing a common test, they asked this question. I didn't know it. I just write the rest of the world with all trade. Wow, yeah, but I got it right. That's what I like about economics. As long as it the answer is too close, they can give you a mark. 2.2.4. Explain the relationship between the exchange rate of the country and its balance of payment. Between the exchange rate of the country and its balance of payment. Let's explain the relationship, guys. It's can you please try first explaining the relationship between exchange rate, you can underline, and of the country and its balance of payment. What is the relationship? It is an overvalue exchange rate, means that the country exports will be relatively expensive and imports will be cheaper. So an overvalue exchange rate, do you guys know the exchange rate? I'm sure all of you know the exchange rate. What's going on about the exchange rate? They always talk about it on the news. Exchange rate means that the country's the exports will be relatively expensive. The goods that are going out will be expensive, and imports will be cheaper. Imports will be cheaper. So yeah, that's a relationship between exchange rate and balance, or and by the way, relationship between exchange rate and the balance of payment. And another reason is that the spending on imports increases, which leads to continuous deficit on current account of the balance of payment. So that's the opposite. When we find ourselves in a situation where the exchange rates are expensive and things like that, the spending of imports increases, and that will affect the country. Why is it important to analyze a country's balance of payment stats? Why is it important? I don't think you can find this one on textbook. It's just something that you must use your brain to answer it. Balance of payment data provides detailed information about the supply and demand of the country's currency. So remember, why is it important to analyze a country's balance of payment? It's about the supply and demand of the country's currency. It's detailed information. Can be used to evaluate the performance of the country in international economic competition. That's it. This is it, guys. 2.3, study the information below. You can go ahead, study it, because I've paused the video and studied it. I don't want to waste time. Name any one method of calculating the gross domestic product. Okay, guys, you can go ahead, study it by just pausing the video. We'll just do like this. You just pause the video and study it. I'm gonna go here. Name any one method of calculating, by the way, the gross domestic product. One method, obvious, all of you know that this method is production, or many of you will just say expenditure method. It's right, also expenditure method, and also I think, yeah, also income method. What is taken into account on products when converting basic prices to market prices? What is taken into account? So there are two things that are taken into account, which is taxes and subsidies. Briefly describe the term gross domestic product. Value of all final goods and services produced within borders of the country for a specific period. This one they always sing in your class. I'm sure you know it. They always sing it in a class, this one. What is gross domestic product? They always sing it in class. How can economics ensure the accuracy of GDP figures? How can economics ensure the accuracy of GDP figures by adding only the value of the final goods and services when compiling the figures. There's no need to cram what I'm saying, guys. It's just that you need to know what I'm talking about, and you need to study. It's not like you're just gonna watch the video and say now you are complete. You know how to. You're gonna get all the 40 marks. Why is real GDP a preferred measure of economic rather than normal GDP? Why? Why is real GDP preferred rather than normal GDP? It issues consistent prices, making comparison between years and more meaningful. It allows comparison of actual volume of goods and services without considering inflation. By removing inflation, real GDP provides the most accurate figures by which to express and monitor an economy changes over time. So that's it. That's 2.3.5. I've already explained it. With the aid of well-labeled Laffer curve, explain the relationship between the tax rate increase. Here you draw a Laffer curve. You guys know a Laffer curve? Yeah, I'm sure you guys know a Laffer curve. If you don't know a Laffer curve, I'll definitely make a video explaining about it. If I didn't make a video about it. So I'm just gonna skip this question. It's where you draw a Laffer curve. So the explanation effects of the tax increase in state revenue. As the tax rate increases, tax revenue increases. As the tax rate increases, tax revenue increases. That's Laffer curve. Where the curve peaks at the tax rate, which is T, the tax in government maximizes. At the tax rate that is higher than T, state revenue will decline because workers will refuse to work or disclose their income. That's the explanation. How do financial markets benefit the economy? That's 8 marks, guys. So you need four explanations. How do financial markets benefit the economy? Financial markets help to efficiently direct the flow of savings and investment in economy. They do this in the ways that facilitate the accumulation of capital and the production of goods and services. The markets make it easy for buyers and sellers to trade their financial holdings. Financial markets provide finance for companies so they can hire and invest and grow. So guys, as you can see, I've practiced this question paper. So you also have to practice the question paper in order to master it. And I've also written answers for you guys so that it can be easier for you to write down some notes. Not confusing. Economic pursuits, that's question 3. Economic pursuits. I think you actually have to write all the questions here. Do you have to write all the questions? You have to write all the questions. 150 marks. You have to answer all the questions. Yeah, that's it. You have to answer all the questions here. No. You answer only only this one. You pick 2 here. So which one, economic pursuits or the one macro and economic pursuits, both of them combined? Let me check which one I should pick. I will actually pick government increase the revenue, the shade between price index and consumer. This one, how can the government reduce unemployment? This one, guys, economic pursuits, it looks easier. This one looks easier, guys. So we should tackle it instead of picking the one that's question for macroeconomics and economic pursuits. Which one? This one is combining. This one looks like it's going to be challenging. So we should pick economic pursuit. You always pick the one that's less challenging. Don't try to impress the teachers and pick the one that's hard and get a lot of wrong things here. As we begin, economic pursuits, question 3. Answer the following question. Name any 2 services which are regarded as social indicators. Name any two services which are regarded as social indicators, which is very straightforward. Two services regarded as social indicators: electricity, water supply, and garbage removal. 3.1.2, how do special economic zone industrial development, how do special economic zones improve industrial development? How do they improve industrial development? So in order to answer this question, you have to know what is special economic zone first. You won't answer it without knowing that. Special economic zones have connectivity to both suppliers and potential markets, whistles promoting an export orientated industries and local integration. So that answer is very difficult to memorize, so I'm gonna give you the easy one. They therefore stimulate employment and industry growth and social development. So you can just say they stimulate employment and industry growth and social development. They stimulate employment, so they stimulate employment. So they stimulate employment, they improve employment. You can just say that there's no problem. They improve employment and industry growth and social development. So here we're going to the one. Study the information below and answer the questions that follow. So guys, because of time, I won't stick that much and study the information for you. So if you want to know the information, obviously you have to pause the video. Pause the video right now. Pause the video and study the information. Okay, now you are done studying the information. 3.2.1, name any one of the South Africans' top export products. This one is common knowledge. It's something that you have to know. It's not in your textbook. It's gold. So each and every time they ask this question, remember gold, coal, platinum is also the one we also is one of our top export products. And I heard that it's also diamond. So now, but gold, I'm sure. Gold and coal and platinum, I'm sure. It's our top export. 3.2.2, which international organization currently regulates free trade between countries? This one you all know is WTO, which is World Trade Organization. Briefly describe the term export promotion. This one is in your textbook. Export promotion refers to measures undertaken by the government in order to encourage local producers to produce more to sell to other countries. So it encourages local producers to produce more to sell to other countries. Local producers to produce more to sell to other countries. Explain a reason the government supports export promotion. Why does the government support export promotion? Think about it. I've given you the definition, so I think it's going to be easy for you to explain why does he support. Why does the government support? I don't know why I say he. Why does the government support? So think about it. Remember, export promotion refers to measures undertaken by the government in order to encourage local producers to produce more and sell to other countries. Encourages local producers. So the reason government supports it is because export promotion enlarges the production capacity of the country and leads to economic growth. Through export promotion, more workers will be employed and prices will be reduced. How does free trade contribute to improved economic growth? Free trade, how does it contribute? So free trade contributes to improved economic growth through increasing world output when countries specialize in what they are relatively best at, reducing unit cost of production by maximizing economies of scale. That's what it does. So I'm going to give you another reason of 3.2.5. It's also increasing competition, which encourages innovation. That one you are surely going to get it right. It encourages competition, which it increases competition, which encourages innovation. 3.3, study the extract below. As you know what we used to do, I've already done this, I've already practiced the question paper, and so I'm just teaching it to you guys. So I've already studied this thing, so you can just pause the video again and learn and study it. You are done. Name any one industrial development policy in South Africa. Only one. Which one is it? Most of us get this wrong, but it's actually National Industrial Policy Framework. That's an industrial development. Which financial incentive is used to attract businesses to operate in the industrial development zone? ITZ. Which financial incentive is used to attract businesses? Which is actually free incentives. This is custom free incentives. Briefly describe the term industrial development. Is also the term. Industrial development refers to policies that are aimed at the encouragement of industrial investment and greater industrial efficiency. That's industrial development. Explain the importance of industrial development in South Africa. Explain the importance. Why is it important to have industrial development? It's because it establishes large-scale manufacturing, agriculture, mining, and service production and creates jobs in the process. It diversifies the economy and achieves higher rates of savings and investment. Those are two reasons. And it also develops and maintains appropriate incentives to attract investors. It also attracts investors. So that's it. That's the importance of industrial development in South Africa. I've already explained it. The importance of industrial development in South Africa. I gave you 3 reasons. How will the regional development in South Africa benefit the whole Africa? Now we talk about the whole Africa. South Africa is regarded as a gateway into Africa. That's first of all. It's regarded as a gateway to Africa. That's the easiest 2 mark that you can get. And through regional development in South Africa, neighboring countries could use our ports and airports for export opportunities. Neighboring countries will use our ports and export and airports, by the way, for export opportunities. Other countries will benefit also. So now we are going to the one that has a lot of marks. 8 marks. Differentiate between producer price index and consumer price index as economic indicators. This one you have to know. If you didn't study it, obviously you wouldn't get it. So I'm going to start by talking about a producer price index. That's how I work in bullet form, obviously. PPI is used to measure the prices of domestically produced goods. Used to measure products of domestically produced goods. Measure products of domestically produced goods. Pertains the cost of production. It also measures an increase or decrease in price of imported goods. Then we're going to CPI now. It represents the cost of shopping basket of goods and services of a typical SA household. So obviously, as you can see, consumer price index is focuses on a consumer. So it represents the cost of shopping basket of goods and services of the typical SA household. Capital and intermediate goods are excluded. It shows changes in purchasing power of the rand. Pertains cost of living. It talks about cost of living, and it also includes VAT. So this one, I'll leave it to another topic. If you want another question paper for me to answer and focus on this one, I'll definitely make a part 2. Just tell me down in the comment below. I'll practice it and make sure I give you the correct answers, all of the correct answers. So the essays now. I'm gonna make sure I pick the one that makes sense. The essay. Which one? Question 5, macroeconomics. Discuss in detail. We are going to section C, by the way. Discuss in detail the underpinning forecasting in business cycle. Analyze the negative impact of business cycles on economy. economic pursuits, discuss in detail the South African growth and development policies, strategic initiatives, evaluate a private public no, this one, guys, is very difficult, the question 6. So I always told you guys that you should pick the easiest one. I told you that you should pick the easiest one. So, by the way, we are not done here. How can the government reduce unemployment in economy? Because I thought this one everyone knows it, but I'm going to answer it anyway. The government can reduce level of unemployment by improving education and training, by applying the skills development programs to help reduce structural employment and ensure better remuneration that will stimulate demand and production. Lowering minimum wage to reduce real wage unemployment. Providing employment through EPWP. Allow more flexible labor markets to make it easier to hire and fire workers. And also, using government policies that will increase aggregate demand, such as decreasing interest rates, tax cuts, and increasing government spending. So, guys, this one I expect you all to get it right, because it's very straightforward. How can government reduce unemployment in economy? Especially when you have studied, you have to be able to know this one, even if you didn't study that hard, because it's something that requires common knowledge. So now I'm going to section C. Section C, we're going to pick question 5, macroeconomics, because it's the easiest one here. Rather than picking the hardest one, then taking chances, then you fail. No, you have to pick the easiest one, guys. And by the way, you have to start with an essay when you write economics. That's something I always been doing. That's something I was doing when I was doing matric. In my years, I was actually starting with an essay. Then I start answering the other questions. But question 5, without wasting any time. So the essay is actually not something that I should explain. So question 5, we're going to be picking this one, question 5, because it's the easiest one. So introduction: business cycles can be used to make economic forecasts and predicting future events. A business cycle can be described as a successive periods of increasing and decreasing economic activities. So I've explained business cycles because we are going to be talking about that. So let's go to the main part. Leading economic indicators. These are indicators that change before economic changes with the reference turning point. They give consumers, businesses, and policies makers a glimpse of where the economy is headed. They reach the peak before the economy reaches the peak. Most important type of indicator in helping economists is to predict what the economy will be like in future. So I've given you many of them. Coincident economic indicator. They move at the same time as the economy if the turning point of the specific time series variable coincide with the reference turning point. It indicates the current state of the economy, retail sales. If the business cycle reaches a peak and then begins to decline, the value of the retail sales will reach a peak and then begin to decline at the same time. Lagging indicators, which you all know, they do not change direction until after the business cycle has changed its direction. They serve to confirm a behavior of coincident indicators, e.g. new machinery sold. If the business cycle reaches the peak and begins to decline, we are able to predict the value of the new machinery. Composite indicators. It is a grouping of various indicators of the same type into a single value. The single figure forms the norm for the country economic performance. So there are a lot of one here, like I'm going to end here with the length. This is the time that it takes for the business cycle to move through one complete cycle. It measures from peak to peak, through to through. It is useful to know the length because the length tends to remain relatively constant over time. If the business cycle have a longer length, we consider the economy to be strong. So there are other ones: amplitude, trend, extrapolation, which is the one I won't advise you to write about. Moving average. So these are all of them. you can check them on your textbook. You probably have a textbook. So here's an additional part. Periods of rapid growth in GDP lead to inflation with various economic costs which lead to recession. A contraction in the economy causes an aggregate demand to decrease, which in turn causes a decrease in supply. In a global recession, the demand from the other countries for South African products decreases. The recession represents a large wastage of resources and prolonged period of unemployment, which can also lead to a loss of labor productivity. The uncertainty created by the business causes the lower investment, and this can lead to a lower long-term economic growth. So here you just share 5 bullet points and make sure your statement is valid and the statement makes sense, so that you can get 2 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks. As I've explained here, for example, the uncertainty created business cycle cause lower investment. Then I explained, and this can lead to a lower long-term economic growth. So you have to answer in full. So conclusion, which may vary. Variations in countries' monetary and fiscal policy are important to measure the government can use to manage business cycle. So guys, in the end, it's all about you. You're the one you have to study. So I've just answered all the questions for the previous question paper, which is September 2022 question paper, which the grade 12s were writing. So this is it, guys. Make sure you study hard so that you may pass economics. You don't just watch this video and then relax. You have to study hard. Then you're gonna get level 7. I've already made a video about how to get higher marks on economics. Make sure you check it out. I've left the link in the description. And if you want paper 2, you can comment down below. I can help you. And I've already made a scope about paper 1 of economics. And actually this one is already has guided you what the scope is. But if you want to check out the scope about question paper, which is economics grade 12, you can check down on my videos. And check down in the description. So guys, don't forget to subscribe for more videos so that you can get more lessons and get higher marks. May God bless you. May you pass and get higher marks and qualify for university. Peace.